Hello, welcome back. I'm going to continue to talk about King Paimon and the book, The Lord of the Abyss, King Paimon, The Void and the Silence, and to continue our thematic. And I have, of course, many subjects that I could talk from, and many interesting ones that I actually do want to talk, different interests of mine or different knowledge I have, or just different things that can help or are useful to others, and I think I will, but for the moment being, I'm going to focus on the book, on our thematic. And even if I do have a new, almost like revelation or new idea, I do want to stay in the almost like the chamber of the mirrors to continue our thematic, because I find it very interesting, and it worked very well until now in the other recordings. We have the aspect of the mirror. We have discussed the mirror, the black mirror. We have discussed thematics as darkness, time, love, eternity, abyss, the mirrors, or magic mirror. So we have, touched on different subjects. Of course, a lot of them, I give them as examples to get the point that I want to cross over to you. So, it's almost like when I'm talking, I'm searching to the answer, for myself. There's almost like a continuum of, it's like from many ideas, I try to focus on one, and then I try to go deeper, or at least keep on the track for as long as I can, There's almost like one key follows the other. So in knowledge, for example, when one studies, you might think, well, it's this and that, but things always evolve, things always change. That's another lesson of the mirror, Because you put something inside it, it's there. You put it, it disappears. So there's the idea of like the continuum, to keep the continuum. So if you have a question, for example, it can be even a philosophical question. You stated a question, or you can even like meditate on it. Think about the words, think about the meaning, think about what you want to transfer, like what feeling or what exactly, is there. Or it's almost like, what is the seed now? What is the intention? What is the... and then you ask yourself, what is the right way, Or how can I get to my answer? There's always like a distance, A question is always some type of distance that is given, like a pause. And then what happens is that it's almost like you let go, and then you stay in that continuum, and then you think, well, the ideas, it's not like I have to be scared that I will be without ideas, because it's like I am the one talking, so it's always like I can always create this continuum, I can always be in this element of, discovering by talking or by thinking a certain rhythms, keeping on the same line towards the answer, It's almost like the answer is given through you taking that path, Basically like saying yes, And it's almost to say, well, there are different fountains that one can pull water out, or there are different books that one can, read, or there are, of course, there's this element of multitude, something being more, and the more is not always the better, because when you want to answer to a question, you want simply the answer. You don't want, you don't want nothing else but the answer. So it's almost like, how can one use the mirror or this reflection or whatever element the mirror has, that one can get faster or easier to the answer, It's like what the mirror is actually teaching us, you know. It's almost like I put myself in front of a challenge, I state a question, and then I let it be answered, you know. And then you receive the answer. It's almost like there's an answer to the question, and the seeker is the believer too, no? And so, for example, now it's like, okay, we ask what should be our thematic on this recording, no? What should we talk about, what we should focus on, no? There's a question almost like which avenue I take, no? Which discussion point, which you know, what would be interesting, what you know, should I continue with that, should I, you know, this type of uncertainty, no? And then you know, in the moment that you are like working on it, no, like actively thinking or talking about it or doing something about it, that's like the resolution. That's what I'm trying to say, no? And it's in the same way a little bit like with the colors. When I paint, I always like to give this example. So it's like I have many colors, no? So it's like, how do I know which one to choose? It's like how I decide from 76 colors which one to take now on my brush, or which one to start and which one to follow. Like which one? Should I start with the blue? Should I start with the red? Should I start, you know? So there's this question, no? How, which one? How? And the way I do it is that I choose the color intuitively. So I know that the color will give the shape of the painting, and I enjoy the color, and I'm very much attracted to the color. So it's like I have a very good connection to color, just by the fact that I love color, and it has an effect in my soul or in my spirit, you know. I always look at color. I always observe color. I notice, you know, I notice color, no? So that makes it easier for me. If, you know, I'm very visual, so it's almost like I feel color, no? Color is very close to me. And I really don't think about it in that way, no? So I just choose it as it comes into my hand most of the time. Sometimes, of course, I need a specific color. Sometimes I choose, I wanted a specific green, no? But I paint without stopping myself because of the color. It is like internal, no? So it's like I can paint with red and I'm already thinking, oh, this will look good with blue. Like I let the answer be given to me. That's what I mean. Through me painting the painting, I know which color comes next. And it's not like I read a notebook or I downloaded the program. It's simply it's an innate ability, no? And it shows the same thing, no? You cannot paint if you think all the time which color. It's almost like it takes all what the painting should be, because it should be fluid, no? It should be a pleasurable activity, and the color should flow into you, you know, from the feeling that you want to give in the painting. That's what makes a painter, understanding the feeling of the color and how to combine them, what looks good together, you know. For example, red and blue look very good together. Different type of reds look very good together, copper red, light, dark, brown, you know, orange, yellow. This is almost like one family. Then you have the cooler tones, now you have the blue, the green, the black, the gray, the cool tones. Interestingly, you know, this is more like the traditional way to classify color. You know, of course, you have the pure colors, the red, the blue, and the yellow, I think. Anyway, but there is the element of the feeling of the color. There is this thing called synesthesia or something like that, where there are people who can feel color, understand color, see aura, it's like a deeper connection with color that they share. They can taste color, they can feel color, they can dream in color, I don't know. There's like they're combining the senses, that's what it means. But the blue, for me personally, is a warm color. I don't know why. For me, blue is warm, but it's a cooler tone. It's a darker tone, And in the same time, dark surfaces. If you paint something dark, it looks good when you go with something lighter on it, so there's always some type of shading going on, no matter if you're drawing or painting. You don't want to make the water all blue in one color, because it's not the reality, and the reality things are like very you see a part, this is more white, the light plays tricks, so one has to understand some type of feeling, but that's what actually gives the emotion of the painting, exactly that light. How dark, how light, how the painting is, how many elements, how many different colors are in the painting, how brave was the painter, how are the brushes, or do you see the brushes, do you see how the painter, it's almost like you imagine the painter making the brushes on it, then you can go even closer and you can see how the color mix with each other, So I think it's great to use color. That's my idea. Don't be afraid of color. Just take it, use it, put it on the paper. Really don't care about it. Go after your feeling, the intensity of the feeling that you are. So this is impressionism style. You really listen to your own, and it is a wonderful way to paint because it frees you totally. You are free. You are the master. You are the one with the brush, and you decide where what goes, which color goes where. But I said blue, know a little bit about which color fits good together. I said blue fits wonderful with orange and red. So when you have blue there, or a nice deep blue, don't forget to put red. And some colors almost like they call for the other. There is a need for the other, even in the color. And as I've said, they say there's nothing, when you paint, you cannot, of course, sometimes I use pure color. If I take black, I need to make the branch of a tree, or I want to write something, or I want to give some details. But all the colors, almost of them I mix. And there are some paintings where I don't even know which color it is. There are points where I'm just mixing. I just need a dark color. I'm very intensively in the painting working, So you can get quite crazy, like, fast, doing this. But it's very passionate. It's like when you make love. It's almost like the finish line. It's quite funny, but it's true, And then it's a great pleasure to paint. That's just my point. And when you make rivers and stuff like that, you put like a darker color, and then that the part under is wet, so that the color will flow down, So it's going to be less powerful as on the top, and make sure a brush is that you have a lot of deep color inside, that you're not afraid to take color in your brush, like take color, and then you go with a big line on the wet paper, and then the magic happens from itself. And then you take blue or green as you want, and then take another sheet, and then you try to combine, and you put more color. So once the process is started, you just follow the next steps, and then enjoy it, choose the color you like, give the details that you have in mind, and it's pretty much done. But of course, there is the need of some type of sensitivity, or you have to find the things that are sensitive for you, in the meaning of what's really the joy, what's really the love or the happiness for you in that painting when you paint it. like I have a lot of joy when I paint mine, because I really enjoy the process now, and that's why I only paint with watercolor, because only there I get this sensation of working with the color and the water, and only there I get the result that I want, to be honest. I cannot do this in oil, color, or acrylic. So yeah, as I've said, watercolor is I was talking, all of this was watercolor discussion, because in other color you paint differently, no? And so it does say in one point that everything that you do, whatever subject it is helpful not only in that domain, but it transfigures even the other domain, no? So maybe I've learned about color and I didn't give too much thought at the moment, but then when I needed that information later on, I had it, and then I could build on, no? And then I started to paint, and then I got even more connected with color. As I've said, in the same time, if there are people who don't like color as much, and there are different arts where you paint only with black ink, some type of calligraphy, no? Or you can create only with black and white, which is beautiful quality. I would love to do that, just with ink and white paper and water, and you can create different shapes and different landscapes, no? Like very Japanese style. Watercolor does come from Japan. It's a Japanese artist, and I have seen a video on YouTube, and unfortunately I didn't find the video again. I would have loved to see it. It was about an artist, a watercolor artist, obviously a very big one, because he had like 2 assistants to hold his water while he was choosing the color and mixing the colors. Like he had people mixing the colors for him and preparing everything, and then he had like a huge piece of paper, watercolor, no? And then with big pots, like, well, not so big, like the size of the hand, with the colors, and there were people holding the colors, and almost like to a king, giving him the color, and he will take it with a brush, and he will very slowly, paint a landscape. And I just fell in love with it at that moment when I saw him painting and the things he created. And it was really the moment I became a painter, a watercolor artist, is when I saw that. I loved the entire video. It was an older video, almost like not even in color, and it showed him at work, how he was creating his paintings. And he was really, really a master. He was like, oh my God. So I think maybe he was one of the first who almost like invented this this genre, this way of painting, or maybe it's even older tradition for them. There's another way I want to try to paint is with ink, black or blue, and then with water, and then maybe mix other things inside, So the material has to excite you when you paint. You have to have some beautiful colors. I always buy the one from Kuretake. It's a Japanese company, and they make really beautiful. I paint all my colors with it, all my paintings, and I always buy it from Amazon. It's called Kuretake or watercolor or something like that, and it's like a box with 72 or 76. Quite big and easy to use. Really, they're the best. I only use this. I cannot use others, and it's just a perfect pigment. And they come in like a green box, very beautiful. They're really made in Japan. Kuretake. I'm sure they have other very good brands there, for watercolor. Yeah, so, and then you have some nice brushes, then you have a watercolor paper, and then you make the paper wet, and then you wait a little bit, and then you prepare your colors, and then you start with the middle line, take a lot of color, make a big line through the middle of the paper from beginning to end, can be brown. I take always something dark, brown, dark, black, as you like. And then you make this, and then the color will move, and then I start to work on the down part. It's almost like I work with the color, and yeah, I change it. As I said, I to be honest, I paint very wild and free, so but I do have my rules or a way to start, and then on the upper part I always make the sky blue, white, but I always combine, I put water, I put color, I put water as I want, so almost like after feeling is called, after, yeah, let the coin fall, you just paint. So yeah, and then I started to learn to make lines and to be a little more wild and free. I make little details. So if I make plants, if I make a landscape, I love to go into the details, and yeah, I like to make it as beautiful as possible. And then the palette has some very nice silver and golden, which is very helpful because I love to give shininess to the painting. And then I use sometimes some type of pulver with metal colors. This is like things I use in makeup normally, and I had one in copper or silver, something really nice like that. And then I put it on the painting when it's still wet, quite in the end, and then I let it dry. Or I can use salt. Yeah, if I add a little salt on the color when the paper is wet, with the color of course, and then you put salt in the end and let it dry a little bit, you will see in 10-15 minutes, you will see it creates its magic. It creates some nice patches. And yeah, you can really experiment as you like. I do recommend it. So I guess this recording was more about the painting, but yeah, maybe it has some symbolistic for some other things as well. It is still interesting discussion, for people who like painting, of course. And thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye.